Bam! First question, Satanism question and answers. What's the difference between a Satanist and an atheist? Well, that's kind of tricky. That depends on the Satanist you ask. There are different types of Satanists. There are LaVeyan Satanists, there are theistic Satanists, there are spiritual Satanists, there are devil worshippers. Speaking primarily for myself, and I would say the majority of Satanists, or who identify themselves as Satanists, coming from a LaVeyan standpoint. And I pretty much am a LaVeyan Satanist. I like to consider myself a modern Satanist or a self-styled Satanist because I don't agree with everything LaVeyan has written, and I disagree with some of the aspects of the Church of Satan and some of Anton LaVeyan's writings. But I lean in. I would primarily be considered a LaVeyan Satanist by other Satanists because what differentiates LaVeyan Satanists from theistic Satanists is LaVeyan Satanists do not believe in a literal God or a devil or Satan. They use Satan as primarily a symbolic metaphor or representation of man's passion, his desire, his lust, his carnality. Whereas theistic Satanists do believe that there is a force, a conscious force. Well, see, I don't actually know this for a fact about a conscious force, but they do believe that there are forces, and they identify that as Satan, which I also agree with. I believe there are forces greater than man. I don't believe there are conscious forces. I don't believe they give two shits about us, and I don't believe they are an entity or a deity of any sense. And I'm kind of unclear myself of the actual real definition of a theistic Satanist or a spiritual Satanist. So, in that sense, I don't know. But coming from a LaVeyan perspective, what's the difference between an atheist and a Satanist is primarily this. Atheists choose just to believe generally that there is no God, there is no devil, there are no forces greater than man. There is nothing beyond this existence or forces or powers that be. And a Satanist, a LaVeyan Satanist, also holds that value and opinion, except most LaVeyan Satanists do believe that there are forces greater than man that we just don't understand. Not that they are conscious or a deity of sense, but that there are forces and powers that we can tap into that move the world and kind of falls into, definition of magic and whatnot. So Satanists are atheists, except that they believe that there are forces greater than man. They just choose not to believe that they are literal deities, God or a devil, or conscious deities or forces. And I forgot what I was going to say. Oh yeah, and most atheists take a neutral stance on religion. They don't believe in God or the devil, but they're okay with other people believing and religion and whatnot. And most Satanists oppose organized religions, so they oppose organized religions, so they take a more proactive stance against organized religions, whereas most atheists don't. And also most Satanists, LaVeyan Satanists, actually most Satanists, period, believe in the concepts of magic, believe in the ability to manipulate nature and the surroundings and tap it into a force, so to speak, whereas atheists would consider that all hogwash. Those are the main differences. I'm sure other people could reiterate on this subject better than I can, but that's my understanding of the difference between a Satanist and an atheist, coming from a LaVeyan aspect and perspective.